There's a shop you've driven past 100 times. Heating and cooling, maybe auto repair, a print place with a hand-lettered sign. You've never been inside, and you couldn't name the owner if somebody paid you. Then one morning you drive past, and there's a piece of paper taped inside the glass. Black marker on the back of an invoice. After 34 years, we're closing. Thank you for everything. And you'd feel that small flicker of something. Business couldn't make it. Times are hard, sad, and you would be completely wrong. Because the guy who taped that sign up is named Benny. He's 67, 2 vans in the lot, both paid off, and his business wasn't failing. It was clearing enough every year that you would need a $2.8 million investment portfolio to match it. He didn't sell it. He turned it off. Like a light. And 9 out of every 10 businesses like his are ending exactly that way this year, while you and everybody else argues about who's going to inherit the money. My name is Nick, and I've spent an unreasonable amount of my life reading estate data and small business filings, which is exactly as glamorous as it sounds. If you've ever heard someone say the great wealth transfer is about to make your generation rich and felt a small private suspicion, because that part is worth considerably more than the inheritance. Let's start with the number they're selling you, because the number is genuinely enormous. Cerulli Associates projects $124 trillion changes hands through 2048. $105 trillion goes to heirs like you, $18 trillion to charity, about 81% of it comes from boomers and the generation above them. That's the kind of number that should show up at your house with a parade permit and a marching band. For scale, boomers hold about $93 trillion in assets. The entire American economy produced $31 trillion last year. One generation holding more than 3 times everything you and everyone you know produce in a year. They're 20% of the adult population and 51.6% of the household wealth. If you're under 40, your whole age bracket holds 6.6%. In 1989, your equivalent held 12. I want to be fair to that headline before I take it away from you. It isn't marketing. Cerulli are serious people and the money is sitting there. The problem was never that the number is fake. The problem is what happens to it on the way down to you. In July, Visa's economics team published the most honest teardown of this I've seen. They took that $93 trillion and started subtracting the parts nobody puts in the headline. Subtract what they owe. Then pull out the top 1%, because none of their money is coming to you or to anyone you've ever met. It vanishes into foundations and trusts and anything with the word irrevocable in it. Your $93 trillion becomes 60. Subtract what they spend in retirement, because it turns out old people spend their money on being alive. 60 becomes 44. Subtract taxes, fees, and the money they leave to their church instead of to you. 44 becomes 36. And of that 36 trillion, Visa estimates only about 8 trillion ever gets spent. The rest relocates from one brokerage account into a slightly younger brokerage account, and none of those accounts are yours. Spread that 8 trillion across 20 years of everything you'll ever buy, and it lifts annual growth from about 2% to about 2.1%. That's it. That's what the greatest wealth transfer in history does to the economy you're trying to survive in. 1/10 of 1 percentage point. Somebody get the marching band. But that's the country. You don't live in the country. You live in your own household, so let's put you in the middle of this. You're 41, or 53, or 29 with a parent who owns a house, and for about a decade now, you've done the thing almost everybody does, which is quietly move a number around in the back of your head. There's the house, maybe there's a retirement account, it'll work out. You've probably never said that number out loud, nobody does. Here's what the data says about it. Benny, for what it's worth, has kids. They don't know which side of this they're on either. Only about 30% of American households ever receive an inheritance. Not this decade. Ever, 7 out of 10 of you get nothing at any point for your whole life. And if you're one of the 3, the median age you receive it is 58, not 25. 58. You get the money at the exact age where you can already see retirement from your own porch. Then there's how much. Headlines will tell you the typical inheriting household is in line for $515,000. That's a real calculation by serious people. It's also an average, which makes it true the way the average human being has slightly fewer than 2 legs. Run the real numbers instead. If you get one at all, the median is about $69,000. The top 1% average around $719,000. The bottom half of everyone who receives anything averages about $9,700. And here's the one that should reframe your entire relationship with this subject. Of the 44 trillion projected to reach heirs, households in the 90th to 99th percentile take about 34 trillion, 77%. If you're in the bottom half, your entire half splits about 500 billion, 1.2%, half the country, 1% of the money. Roughly 75% of everybody who inherits here is already in the top 10% of net worth.